Hello friends, this is Dr. Jyoti Saxena and I welcome you to my channel Biotechnology. Today's topic is sewage treatment, or it can be called as the wastewater treatment, although wastewater treatment is a broader term. You know that water is an essential commodity for our survival. It's a very important resource, and although there is 70% of water on the earth, but still, large population is facing these days water shortage. And many of the countries, they are facing the severe problem of drinking water. People are not getting the drinking water around the globe. And another fact is that around 380 trillion liters of wastewater is generated globally every year, and a large part of this wastewater goes back to the ecosystem without the treatment. So, one thing is that all that water is wasted, and the second thing is that many heavy metals and toxic substances and pollutants are there in the wastewater, and they go directly into the ecosystem, which may hazard the ecosystem. So that is also one problem. So because of all these things, it becomes very important that the wastewater or the sewage should be treated. Now let's see what is sewage. Sewage is a wastewater which is generated from the homes, industries, or the commercial places. So any kind of pollutant, if they are mixed with the water, that is wastewater. Sewage is the mixture of various wastes carried by water. So the main part is water, but then again different type of wastes are in it. It contains 95% of water. Of course, the maximum part is water, and then it has the organic matter. This may be the from the households or also from the industries, and the soaps, detergents, oils, different type of pathogens may be there, chemicals, nutrients. So all these are there in the sewage. It is dirty if you see it, and of course it is unsafe. So before releasing it into the environment, it should be treated, and if we treat the wastewater, then also we can reuse it. Now let's see what are the sources of sewage or wastewater. There can be the domestic sewage, which includes the kitchen waste, because different type of vegetables and different food products are there. So that food waste is the one of the kitchen wastes. Then bathroom and toilet waste. In bathroom and toilet waste, different type of detergents, soap, shampoos, and all that can be there. Then toilet cleaner can be there. Human waste will also come under this toilet waste. And washing waste, because all the time we have to wash the clothes, we have to wash the floor and all that. So all these type of wastage comes under domestic sewage. Then there are many industries which are generating the waste all the time along with the domestic waste. So there may be the chemicals, oils and metals, and these chemicals may come from the home also, and they may come from the industries as well. From home, bleaches sometimes we use, then floor cleaners we use. So these type of chemicals may be there, and from the industry, different depending upon which industry we are talking about, different type of chemicals are there. Oils may also be there from the dairy products, where the dairy industries are there. So different fats may be there. From household waste also, it may contain the oils, and different metals are there which are generated from industries. So here you can see the domestic waste which is going for the treatment. And there are different nutrients also, and when we talk about nutrients, basically the nitrogenous and phosphorus compounds are there. Phosphorus compounds are mostly generated through the detergents and the detergent industries and the detergents which are used in home. And nitrogen may have the ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, and also the urea, and different organic nutrients may be there, which may come from the residues of plants and animal residues, and different type of other organic nutrients can also be there. Then if the wastewater is generated from the hospitals, then the maximum number of pathogens are possible here, and these pathogens can be viruses and bacteria, and most of these pathogens are disease causing. Then another kind of wastewater is the stormwater runoff. Stormwater is something, when during the rains, when this water is flowing through the roads, and at that time it picks up whatever is there on the roads and the fields and the gardens. So it may contain all kind of dirt and sediments and wrappers, plastics. If it is going through the garden, then it may have the fertilizers, pesticides, so all kind of pollutants which may be present on the road, that will become the part of the storm water. So this is also one type of wastewater. So all these polluted water, if you see, they enter into the drain. Then this drain pipes, they go to the sewer line, and then most of the time they open these sewer line in the rivers and lakes and water body, whichever is the nearest, without treatment. So that is the something, the condition is very pathetic here, because without treatment all is going back to the ecosystem. Now the next is, why sewage need treatment? Why should we treat it? Raw sewage contains harmful microorganisms, chemicals, toxic substances. This we have already seen. We have already discussed the different type of toxic substances, pathogenic microorganisms and chemicals, heavy metals, all these are there. So it can cause waterborne diseases. That is one thing. That like diarrhea, jaundice, there are many waterborne diseases which occur because of having the unclean water. Then untreated sewage reduces oxygen in water, and this may also kill the aquatic organism. It may have the harmful effect on the aquatic organism. Then it leads to the pollution and ecosystem damage also, because if untreated water is released, then it will have the bad effect on the ecosystem. Then it can't be reused until it is treated, but once it is treated and once we have followed all the standards which are given to us, then it can be reused for various purposes. Now let's see overview of the treatment stages. There are 5 major stages of the treatment. The first is the preliminary treatment, which is just the first stage, where only the plastics and rags and sand, so these are removed here. Then comes the primary treatment. Here the solids which are present in the wastewater, they settle down. Then secondary treatment is basically the microbial treatment. That means the microbial degradation takes place here. And then is the tertiary treatment, which is a kind of advanced treatment in which the filtration and disinfection takes place. And last is the sludge treatment. Here the sludge is disposed of. So these are different stages. Now we'll talk about each and every stage one by one. So first, what is the preliminary treatment? This is the initial phase, and it removes the large, coarse type of material, whatever may be present there in the wastewater, and which may block the pumps and pipes, or which may damage also the equipment. So those kind of bigger particles are removed here. From different mechanisms are there. So the first one is the screening, And here the metal bar screen traps are there, and these screens, they, whatever the cloths or paper, wood, food waste or the plastics, these kind of bigger particles are there, so these are trapped by these metal bar screens. And there may be, two type of screens. The screens may be there which have the larger openings, so they will trap the particles which are little larger, and there may be the fine screens which may trap the smaller wastes. So these fine screens have the finer openings. Then besides screening, grit removal is also one of the techniques of preliminary treatment. Here it removes the heavy inorganic particles, for example the sand, gravel, eggshells, and they settle by the gravity, and that's how they come into the grit chamber and they are removed. Third one is skimming. So skimming is a process in which the grease or anything which is floating on the surface, that is removed. So fat, oil, grease, which is whatsoever is floating on the top, that is skimmed off mechanically and that is removed. Now the next one is the primary treatment. Primary treatment comes just after the preliminary treatment, and hardly there is any difference. The difference is only in the type of particles which are removed. It removes suspended solids by 50 to 70%, and it reduces BOD, that is biological oxygen demand, by 25 to 30%. And here the water becomes clear with mostly dissolved oxygen, organic matter left. That will be treated in the next step, but not in prime treatment. So here the first one is the clarifier, primary clarifier or the settling tank. This is the first part of the preliminary treatment. Here you see water is kept, water comes here after the preliminary treatment, it comes here, and here it is, it is kept here still for quite some time, 2 to 3 hours. So during that period, whatever the heavy solids are there, they settle down, and these are called as the primary sludge. And there is another one which is floating on the surface, so that is skimmed off. Second is primary sludge handling. So here we'll see how the sludge is handled. So sludge is quite thick here, and it is smelly. It is smelling because of different type of degradation of organic solids. So this is sent to the digesters for the treatment. So the next step is secondary treatment. This secondary treatment is basically the biological treatment. We saw that the first two treatments, they were the mechanical, but this is biological. So many microorganisms are there, and here the microorganisms remove around 85 to 95% of biological oxygen demand, which is an indicator. So here the first one is activated sludge process, commonly known as ASP, and let's see what happens here. First there is a aeration tank, and in this aeration tank the air is pumped. So when the air is pumped, the oxygen is provided. So what happens? The microorganisms which are present in the aeration tank, they get the oxygen, they grow there, and while they are growing, they are consuming the organic waste which is present there, and degrading those organic wastes. And these bacteria, they form, mostly the bacteria are there. So these bacteria, they form the flocs, and they convert organic waste into carbon dioxide and biomass. Then there is a secondary clarifier. So here what happens in the secondary clarifier, this floc which was formed by combining the different bacteria with the waste and all that, so these flocs settle down as activated sludge. Now we call it activated sludge. It settles down at the bottom, and the clear water rises up and it moves onward, and some sludge returns to the aeration tank again. So this is a process, this is a step which we have to do here when we are using this step. And then the third one is waste activated sludge. So excess of the sludge means some of the sludge was again, reloaded, and the rest of the sludge is sent to the sludge treatment, and we'll see at the end how the sludge is treated. Now the second one is biofilm based system. So here we are going to use the biofilms and instead of using the ASP. So let's see what is biofilm based systems. First one is the trickling filter. Here the large bed of stones or plastic media is there, which is used as a surface for the microorganisms to grow and to form a biofilm. So biofilm is actually the film which is formed by the microorganism because they stick to each other, they produce a mucilaginous substance around them, and also these microorganisms, they stick to the surface. So all these carrier or the stones or plastic media, whatever is there, so they grow on that and form a film like structure which is known as biofilm. So here the sewage is trickling over the surface, and the biofilm microorganisms, they get the sufficient amount of organic matter, they grow there and they use the organic matter for their growth, and the water flows to the secondary settling tank then, and the final disinfection and chlorination can be done. So this is how the water is cleaned in the trickling filter, which is basically a biofilm based system. Then the second type of reactor may be the rotating biological contractor, commonly known as RBC. Here also the biofilms are there, but they grow on the rotating disc. So here the main feature is that there are multiple discs which are rotating all the time, and when they are rotating all the time, half of the time they are submerged into the wastewater, and half of the time they come towards the upper side where they come in contact with the air. So half of the time they are submerged, half of the time they are in contact of the air. So here biofilm is growing on the discs, and discs are rotating all the time. So half of the time this microorganisms which are present on the biofilm, they are submerged and they get the organic matter, and then afterwards then they come in contact with the air. So that's how the degradation takes place. Then third type of system is moving bed biofilm reactor, MBBR, which is becoming very popular these days, and I have made a separate video on this. So if you want to know the details, you can go through that video. Here the free floating carriers are there in the aeration tank. In the aeration tank, the air is pumped into and it makes the carriers to float, and the microorganisms grow on these carriers in the form of a biofilm. So they get the huge surface area to make the biofilm, and here the separated or the treated water is separated through the screens, and that's how the biofilms remain there on the carriers, and the clean treated water is separated. And then the fourth type of system is the membrane biofilm reactor, which is known as MBFR. So here the membrane acts as the biofilm support. Here, as you can see, the name membrane biofilm reactor. So the membrane is very important part, and on the surface of the membrane the biofilm forms. So here the hydrogen gas diffuses through the membrane, and this is used by the biofilm to remove the nitrate. So basically this is for the separation of the nitrogenous compounds, and this is not still widely commercialized, but maybe in the future this will be used. Then one is membrane bioreactor. And of course this is not a biofilm based system, but I'm telling you about this because it is very, very popular in the wastewater treatment. So here this is an advanced process which gives high quality water, and the ultrafiltration membranes are used here, which are combined with the microbial degradation. So you see ultrafiltration membranes along with the microbial degradation, so they give very high quality water. and here the microbes, they degrade the pollutants. Aerobic and anaerobic, both the stages are there, and then through the membrane, because they act as the semi-permeable membrane, so they separate the treated water. So then the next stage is, or the final stage is, the tertiary treatment. And so this is final stage of water purification, and those particles like nutrients, pathogens or fine solids which are still there in the treated water from the primary and secondary treatment, they are removed here. So this is, here we are going to use the ultra advanced techniques, and the key processes are chemical and physical. So the what processes we can use the filtration, advanced type of filtration we can use here, like the rotary filters or the drum filters, these kind of disc filters, these are used. Then is the nutrient removal. So here the alum is used that precipitates the phosphorus, and similarly the biological methods for denitrification and phosphorus removal are also used here. Then the disinfection. For disinfection, the UV, chlorination or the ozone treatment, all these type of treatments can be done. And then we use the advanced oxidation process. Here the very reactive hydroxyl ions are generated, and they can degrade all kind of pharmaceuticals and dyes and microplastics whatsoever is there. Then the next is sludge processing. Lots of sludge is generated, primary sludge, secondary sludge, and this is essential step to prevent the environmental pollution and public health. How? Actually, the sludge which is present here, that cannot be released into the environment, because it is containing lots of pathogens and many toxic substances also. Besides that, there is lots of water as well, so we cannot just throw it away. So for that we have to do some treatment. So first treatment which is done to the sludge is sludge thickening. Sludge thickening means most of the water is removed, 30 to 50% volume is reduced, because most of the water is removed from here. And here we use the gravity thickeners or the flotation and the mechanical thickeners. So any of these can be used to make it thick. Then the next is the sludge digestion. This is very important to stabilize the sludge. Stabilization means no more decomposition is taking place here, and now this sludge is ready for the disposal. So here anaerobic and aerobic, both the processes can be done, but the anaerobic digestion is the most common one, and it produces the biogas. Biogas is the mixture of methane and carbon dioxide, so this biogas can be used. And aerobic digestion reduces the odor or pathogens, and then alkaline stabilization can also be used, where lime is used. Then next is sludge dewatering. So it makes sludge semi-solid, because here almost all the water is removed, and sludge thickening takes place, that is done using the filter press, belt press, centrifuges, etc. Then you do the drying, and then after the drying the final disposal is done. And this sludge also, which is a kind of waste, the water has already been treated, and the sludge which was remaining, that also we have treated in a separate line. So this sludge can be reused after the dewatering. It can be composted and used as a manure. It can be incinerated, that means at very high temperature you have to burn it, and then it is converted into ashes, and those ashes can also be used. And then it is sent to landfills, or it can be used in co-processing in the cement plant. Now, from wastewater to safe water. See, we started from the wastewater, we did the treatment, and now we have converted this wastewater into a safe water. So all the pollutants, the nutrients or the pathogens, whatever may be there in the wastewater, they have all been removed after the treatment, and the advanced systems enable its reuse in agriculture, industries and cities. So even for the human consumption also, if the treatment level is so high, and if you stick to the standards given by WHO and other organizations, then it can be used for drinking purposes also. In that case, the indicator is 4 log. So 4 log viral removal should be there, then we can use it. And sludge is also stabilized and reused safely. That we have already discussed, that there is another separate line of treatment for the sludge, and it is stabilized, it is dewatered, and then it is reused. And every drop saved today is the resource for the tomorrow, because we started this video by saying that there is so much crisis of clean water these days. So we are not in a position to waste any water. So after the treatment, we can reuse this water, and whatever we are saving, this we are saving for the tomorrow. So that is all for this video. So I hope you understood that wastewater treatment is so essential these days. And thank you so much. And if you like the information, then please subscribe the channel. Thank you.